Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching Ask PQ on BloombergQuint Live. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Good afternoon, Navneet. I'm Agam Vakil. If you've got questions on equity, the show is perfect for you. Send your questions to us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and WhatsApp. You can also call us on 022-454-04141. Of course, mail us at askpq@bloombergquint.com. Just make sure you do add the Ask PQ hashtag.
All right. And if you thought Monday was not a great session for the market in the recent history, today we've registered the biggest point fall that we've seen for Nifty and Sensex both. Though there is a bit of recovery from the lower levels as Nifty is back to trading very close to levels of 9,800. But remember, day's low was about 96.48. So we've recovered somewhere about 160 to 170 points from the lower levels. But still, it is a cut of about 675 points that we're seeing on the screen. Sensex down 2,200 points, trading around the levels of 33,400. And Nifty Bank has breached its psychological mark of 25,000 in today's trade. Of course, there are signs of fresh short positions that are being taken. And what is not supporting this market is the higher volatility. Look at the India VIX. It is around 6 to 7 year high now, 36.7. 2014 high was about 39. I think that's the next level that the traders will be watching out. And most of the trades that you're seeing in the derivatives market are mostly hedge trades. And the turnover on the cash side has been pretty high in the last 6 to 7 trading sessions. By the way, from the fall from 12,000 to where we are right now has just taken about 13 sessions. There you go. That's the turnover. F&O turnover will appear to be on the higher side considering it's Thursday. So the weekly options expiry takes place. Owing to that and how Europe opens, let's see whether there is any sort of recovery which comes by or not. I'm not going to take much of time. All the sectoral indices on NSE are trading at their fresh 52-week low, and the stocks which are bearing the brunt of travel ban that was announced by the government are the likes of Interglobe Aviation. That stock's seen major cuts. You've got SpiceJet also falling in trade, Lemon Tree, Thomas Cook. All your travel tourism stocks are down in trade, and we've seen very, very sharp cuts. And Indiabulls Housing has seen cuts of over 20%. Madison Sumi, which has global exposure, plants across the globe, that one is now trading in double digits, down 17 to 18%. And HPCL too is not having a great session alongside BPCL. Let's see whether there is any recovery which comes from these lower levels, but clearly it's becoming exceedingly difficult, Agam, to pinpoint what's the next support on the index.
Yeah, well, on that note, let's get in our two experts for today. We have Ashish Kelkar of Kiran Jadhav Associates and Sandeep Jain of TradeSwift Broking, who are here to answer all your queries. I'm going to start off with the first question from Swapnil. Needs a long-term view on Yes Bank and SBI, and of course the potential of SBI to buy over 49% stake in Yes Bank. Sandeep, what's your view here? What would you do if you were invested in Yes Bank, and otherwise how do you look at State Bank of India right now?
Yeah, I think it's wait and watch situation. Actually, it's all dependent on how the development of Corona pans out in India. And I think, there's a big panic in the market. So I don't think, I'll try to, adventure also to advise that, buy on declines or something, even if there is such a big fall. The things are not all that great. So, RBI has also come up with a statement that, government and RBI will do something related to some measures which can inject liquidity in the system. But then again, the foreign ministry and the tourism and all those negative news are also cropping in. So I think one should stay put, wait and watch, no leveraging, no averaging, no unnecessary bottom fishing, even at these levels.
That's a very pertinent point Sandeep has made, because on every 500-point fall on Nifty, one would have thought this is a good level to average, good level to enter the markets. People who would have lost out on the rally when Nifty was trading around the mark of 12,300, 400. But from those 12,000 to now 3760, wait for markets to stabilize. And remember, the fall is not on account of any fundamental reason. It's because of a coronavirus outbreak. We've seen central banks around the world, be it ECB or Fed, cutting rates, but that has had clearly no impact on the market. So hold your horses, because we're getting a lot of these messages. For example, Shrikant Reddy tells us he's been holding 1,000 shares of Reliance at 1,500, and he said he's put all his father's retirement money into this. So I don't know whether this is the right level to sell. But Sandeep, Reliance has been an outperformer of 2019. It's fallen, it's at 52-week low, and the fall that we've seen in the recent past on Nifty, index has been dragged lower by 400 points due to the fall in Reliance. What would you advise someone who's still sitting at 1,500 levels?
See, I think things are really changing badly for Reliance. In fact, if you see, they had a hope, that Aramco will buy some stake in the company, and that's why the stock again bounced back. And then now, if we see, Aramco is again fighting with its own struggles, and the way the crude oil has gone down, I don't think any of these companies will go and explore or venture into some new investments. So I think, for Reliance, I think some new levels below 1,000. In fact, it can go into the three figures also. So I cannot say that stay put also. It all depends on the crude oil also, the way crude oil has actually corrected. So simply no averaging again.
Okay, we have a query from Sonal Shah, who wants a short-term view on Petronet LNG. Let's pull that up. Let's see where it's currently trading at. We'll take this question up with Ashish and see what we can do. It's currently at 215. Ashish, what's the view here on Petronet LNG?
Good afternoon. See, basically the stock has corrected a lot, and majority of the stocks, all the charts have been distorted. Now, if we take the current price, it is trading at around 215 levels, and the important level which is very near from this level, and that level is 209. If the price goes below 209, the chart will further distract, and the another downside will open, and this fall can take the price fall below 209 will take the prices to around 190 to 190 odd level. So I would recommend to hold on with a strict stop loss of 208 on closing basis.
Okay, that's Petronet LNG, which is down about 3%. Matthew wants to know a few market leaders which are trading above 200-day moving average after today's fall. Matt, I would urge you to log into our website and read the market blog. You will get all the details, be it for Nifty stocks or for the broader markets, the Nifty 500, how many stocks are trading below or above their 200-day moving average and also at their 52-week low. Okay, let me take the next query then on IDFC Bank, and this one comes in from Rajan Shah. He's bought IDFC First Bank at 40 rupees. The stock's now trading at 29. He wants to know if whether he should buy or switch to ICICI Bank. Ashish, I'll come to you. Technically, he's making losses. What would you suggest him to do? To stick to IDFC First Bank or cover losses at these levels and put that money into ICICI Bank?
See, definitely, I would recommend him to shift his invested amount to ICICI Bank, because if I look at ICICI Bank charts, it is more prominent than IDFC Bank. So definitely I would recommend him to shift to ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank currently trading at around 430 odd levels, and the important level for this stock is 415. So till the time the stock is above 415, yes, still the chart is promising. So definitely shift investment from IDFC to ICICI Bank. If we have a consolidation over here, and if we get a breakout of trend reversal pattern, my first target for this stock would be 475. So risk to reward ratio is also better, so hence I'm recommending to shift to ICICI.
Okay, we have Bhanu Rastogi who wants to do an SIP in Cholamandalam Finance. What is the view on this one? Sandeep, would you recommend the same in Cholamandalam Finance?
Wait for some more time. Actually, yet the time has not come where, we can recommend these bottom fishing. But still, Cholamandalam is a good quality stock. But again, I think financials will really be affected if the demand is affected. Maybe these NBFCs will have to face a tough time. Maybe EMIs and all those things might get delayed. So I think, one should really wait and unnecessarily should not venture into these kind of stocks. Rather, if one has to do some bottom fishing, then I think these good leaders have also corrected, like HDFC Bank or ICICI Bank in the financials. And if you see, even the FMCGs are not actually, they have also corrected. So I think I'll go with some IT and pharma defensives after some time, not even now.
Okay, let's take a query on Tata Motors, and I'm clubbing a few queries here. Krutarth Thakur writes to us on Facebook. He's holding around 1 lakh shares of Tata Motors at 165, a stock which is now trading at levels of 92, 93. Remember, majority of the revenue is coming from China. JLR business is impacted there. He wants to know whether he should average or clearly sell this out. Sandeep, what would you advise? And like Krutarth, there are a lot of people who've been holding to Tata Motors at even higher levels of 165. What would you advise them to do? And at these lower levels, there are some viewers who are asking, should they accumulate Tata Motors?
No, I will certainly advise strictly not to accumulate this stock. Somehow I see a very dark future for Tata Motors. Somehow the kind of debts they have on their books, and in fact all the companies with debts might have to face a very tough time, and particularly Tata Motors will have a very tough time because of the European markets and Chinese markets being spoiled. So if one has to actually average it out, because the investor is a very big investor, looks like 1 lakh shares at 165, so that's a huge investment. Though Tata Motors has actually recovered from the lowers, and somehow 85, 86 is a good level where it has tried to bottom out. But then still I feel that it can still further go down. If I've checked the charts also yesterday, and if they are to be believed, I think Tata Motors has a lot of steam to be left on the downside. So I think he should rather try to average his position with Maruti, if at all he has to average, but not at this juncture. I think he should still wait for fresh investments into the markets.
Okay, well, moving on to Praveen Matthews' view on Colgate Palmolive. He has about 100 shares, which he holds at around 1,350. Wants a long-term view, wants a weekly stop loss for this counter. So that's what what we need right now. It's currently at 1,214, so he's losing out on a little less than 150 rupees per share right now. Ashish, what's your view on Colgate Palmolive, the technical view here?
See, all the charts, as I have told you earlier, all the charts have been distracted. Overall, the chart structure was good, but currently the stock is trading at around 1,250 odd levels, and the important level for this stock is today's low. As his question says that he wants to know the stop loss on a weekly closing basis, the stop loss should be 1,170 weekly closing basis. If the price closes below this 1,170, then definitely he should get out of this stock immediately.
Okay, that's Colgate Palmolive. Last 3 months, last 1 month, of course, like the markets have moved, this one too has fallen. Sandeep, I asked you about Tata Motors. There are also viewers who want to know about Tata Steel. So Lata Hegde is suggesting since last 2 years, she's been averaging into the stock. She's holding 3,400 shares and her average price is 525 vis-a-vis the current level that we're seeing, which is sub 300. She's lost majority of her capital. What would you advise her to do?
See, I think I have advised this many a times on the channel that one should not unnecessarily invest in cyclicals for long term. If one has to do investment in cyclicals, then it should be a kind of trading, and those active investors or traders should only participate in these kind of cyclicals. And the way the global markets are behaving, the way crude oil is behaving, the way things are getting bad, I think cyclicals are the worst affected. And again, for her future trading or strategies also, I think she should not try to bottom fish all these stocks, particularly cyclicals, and averaging should not be done even at these levels. And I think if she has to actually recover her losses, not necessarily she has to do it from Tata Steel. She can get into some mining stocks also. Even NMDC is at a very bad corrected levels, I think, and there is a very good dividend yield also. So NMDC can be looked at when it comes to metals. But otherwise, if one has to look at, I think there are good leaders which have actually corrected, like HDFC, ICICI, even ITC, though it has corrected a lot from the levels I have recommended. But still, I feel that there can be a news of demerger also in the future. You never know. So ITC is actually corrected. So I think averaging should be done there rather than the cyclicals.
Okay, Sandeep, we have a bunch of viewers who have been allocated SBI Cards IPO. The question is, what should they do on listing day? What's your opinion here?
See, I think the listing, if we have been tracking the grey market premiums also on the websites, various websites. So per application, a 15,000 application was selling at 4,400, and then it came down to as low as 1,100 rupees. And now I think since the market has actually crashed, so I don't think the listing will be in green. So let's see. So I think he should wait for good times to come, and he might exit in some profits. So let's see how it pans out on 16th of March. Yeah.
Okay, yes, the grey market premium has been falling. Let's see whether the current environment, that's the weak environment for the equities, impacts the listing of SBI cards. There was a lot of frenzy around this IPO. Okay, let's pull up Bata. Sapna Samal writes to us, and she's been holding the stock at levels of 1480. She wants to know what to do at current levels. So she's not lost a lot. Her entry level was 1480, Ashish, and the stock's at 1420. What would you advise her to do?
See, I would recommend to hold on because overall chart structure is very good, but because of the current event that is happening, the chart has corrected from a level of around 1850 to a level of around 1420. So yes, there will be a recovery, and that recovery would be a fast recovery is what the charts would suggest. So definitely I would recommend to hold on with a strict stop loss of 1392 on daily closing basis.
Okay, well, we have Sagar Damani, who wants a comparison of Dr. Lal Path and Metropolis. Ashish, I'll come to you on this one again, where he wants a technical view here. He wants to know which of these two is looking attractive, a little more attractive. He wants to go long, or should he wait for another dip? Dr. Lal Path versus Metropolis, Ashish. This one's for you.
Right. See, basically, I would go with Lal Path Lab because the overall chart structure, if I compared with Metropolis, definitely this chart structure is better because the markets have corrected more than 20%, but this stock is it is successful holding its important level, and it has not corrected as the markets have corrected. So definitely, I would recommend to go with Lal Path Lab. Currently, the stock is sitting at around 1650 levels. My first target would be 1810 rupees. The second target would be 1855 rupees. And for this investment, he should keep a stop loss of 1565.
Okay, one of the few stocks actually which is holding up in green in today's market, up about 1.5%. Sandeep, stocks related to mass gatherings like PVR have been under pressure. In fact, it's corrected from its peak nearly 30% so far from those levels of 2200 now at 1374. What would you advise someone to do at these lower levels?
See, I think one should again wait and watch and how, the spread of coronavirus is being tackled by India, and we have seen Kerala government, announcing emergency there, and in fact, till 31st of March, no one can go to the these multiplexes also. So I think things will not get easily good for all these sectors. So the way all these airlines are also panicking, tourism will be affected. So I think we'll have to wait, and again the number of cases are on the increasing trend only in India, so I'm a bit nervous. Let's see what happens, but should not average at these levels. Stay
okay
put.
All right, Sandeep, there's one more for you. We have Aryan Pratap Singh, who's bought Motherson Sumi at around 141. Wants the fundamental view, and if you could suggest perhaps an exit at this point in time. It is at 75, or should he hold on?
No, now I think at this point of time he shouldn't exit. Actually, at 110.50 levels, I remember recommending this as not to be a bought stock in particularly auto ancillary stocks, because it has its own problems, and in fact Europe was also being affected. And I don't think now he should exit the stock. It has already corrected a lot, so stay put is the only way, because the market conditions overall, broader markets are not doing well. So how will these auto and auto ancillaries will do well? So I think he will have to wait.
Okay, that's Motherson Sumi for you, just for the benefit of our viewers, considering the magnitude of fall that we've seen today. But remember, we've recovered from those lower levels of 96.48 thereabouts. Still, we don't know how the second half will pan out right now, how the Europe opens. So let's tell you what are the circuit breakers for Nifty and Sensex. Currently, we're at 9,800, and circuit limit is away almost 400 points from here. So that's 94.12. Let's say if the index touches that mark, that's the time we'll hit a circuit. And also remember, it depends on the timing for how long the circuit will be applicable, whether it's before 1 p.m. or after 1 p.m. So the timing will differ there. For Sensex, by the way, that's the 10% circuit we're talking about on Nifty. For both Nifty and Sensex, it's 10%. For Sensex, we're away almost 1360 points, and the circuit level that you need to watch out on Sensex will be 32,127, and we're currently at about 33,488. So do keep these levels in mind in case if there is more more volatility that we get to witness in the second half of the session. Okay, DMart is the other one. Ashish, I'm going to come to you. We have a viewer who is holding DMart at levels of 2460. He's holding 400 shares and the stock's at 2004. Relatively a stronger stock, even if you look at the long-term performance. Of course, it is falling with the market, but still, if somebody is holding at 2460, what would you advise that person to do?
Because overall chart structure is still intact. It has not as much as distorted compared to the rest of the stock. So definitely hold from my side. The stop loss is 1945 on the daily closing basis. Disclaimer is that we have already recommended this stock to our clients, and the stock, my clients would be holding this stock.
Okay, well, let's talk about one handful of other stocks as well. And we do have a question from Lalit Chaudhary, and he wants to know if we can accumulate Delta Corp at these levels. Of course, one of those companies from the travel and tourism space, hospitality space for that matter. It's come a long way from the marks of well over 200 rupees a share just a few months ago. Sandeep, I reckon you would ask the viewer to stay away from Delta Corp?
Certainly, yes. Even in good market conditions also, I was actually recommending not to buy this stock, avoid this stock. Particularly, I'm not actually very comfortable buying this stock, the kind of, the business it is into. And then the tourism sector is actually affected. So I think it's a big no from my side. Yeah.
Okay, a big
not even averaging.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so Sandeep suggesting it's a big no from his side, and clearly last 3 months the stock's corrected about 30%. All right, gentlemen, it's time to hit the rapid fire segment. Before we begin, just a small request to both of you, Sandeep and Ashish, please keep your answers short so that we can accommodate a lot more queries in the last 2 minutes of this show. Ashish, would you advise someone to enter into MCX at current levels?
Definitely no. From my side, there can be a further fall, and the fall can take the prices to around 1050.
Okay, Ashish, another question for you on Eicher Motors. We have YRP who wants pertinence in, Eicher Motors. I believe he's entered it into at 19,500.
Exit is what the charts are suggesting.
Sandeep, would you advise someone to accumulate HDFC twins at these lower levels?
Yes, one can start accumulating HDFC and HDFC Bank, not exactly at these levels. Let the storm calm down first, and I think these will be good bets which one can start doing some bottom fishing or some nibbling in a staggered manner.
Okay, and what about Bajaj Finance? I hope we haven't discussed this. Sandeep, your view here on Bajaj Finance?
Yeah, again, I like this stock, but again, the same opinion as I commented for HDFC and HDFC Bank. Some staggered buying can be done after things calm down.
Ashish, Maruti bought at 8,700. What are the technicals suggesting on the charts, and what would your advice be to the viewer now? It's at 57.57.
Next important level for this stock is 5,520. So there can be a further correction till 5,520. So if he is having a long-term view, definitely hold.
Okay, Ashish, view on Biocon as well. We have a question from Srinivas.
Biocon, hold on with a strict stop loss of 265 on a closing basis.
Ashish, a quick view on Nifty as well. What's the next level that you will watch out on the charts, considering we've breached all the psychological marks now?
See, the next important level for Nifty is little bit below, and the next level which I can see on the chart is 9,550.
Okay, well, we've out of time, so I'm going to take a moment to thank both our experts, Sandeep and Ashish, for joining us and helping our viewers with all their queries.
Remember, we're just a tweet, posted, a call away, so please keep your queries coming, and we promise to address most of them through our shows. In fact, for all our previous episodes, you can visit our YouTube channel or our website, BloombergQuint.com. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to BloombergQuint for more market updates.